She said it was a girls' weekend. I believed her. Until I got a notification. Our shared card was used at a resort in Aspen for a couple's massage. I called her. She answered, whispering, "Can this wait?" I hung up, called the hotel, booked the room next door. And what I did with that key? We'd been married for 5 years, together for 8. I thought we had something solid. Not perfect, but solid. We lived in Colorado Springs, decent house, nothing too fancy, just comfortable. I ran a small business doing HVAC work, and she worked part-time at a boutique downtown. We didn't have kids, but we had plans. At least I thought we did. She told me she was going to Aspen for a girls' weekend with her old college friends. Said it was something they hadn't done in years. I didn't think twice. Gave her my blessing, helped her pack, even booked her a detail on the car the day before she left. She kissed me like normal, called me babe, said, "Don't miss me too much." I didn't. Not until I got the notification. It was Thursday afternoon. I was working from home, trying to organize service calls for the weekend. Then my phone buzzed. I saw the message from our shared credit card. Blue Ridge Aspen Resort and Spa, $397.25 at first. I didn't even react. I figured that's where they were staying. But then, a few minutes later, couples massage, $180. That one hit me like a punch. I stared at it for a while. Tried to make excuses in my head. Maybe they offered it to single people too. Maybe it was part of a spa deal. But it didn't sit right. So I called her. She answered in a whisper.
I remember exactly how she sounded.
Like she had stepped into a hallway or a bathroom to answer. She said, "Can this wait?" That was it. For words. I paused. My heart felt like it dropped into my gut. I didn't say anything back. I just ended the call. I sat there for a minute. Then I opened my laptop and booked a room at the same resort. I called them directly. Asked for a room as close to 314 as possible. I told the guy on the phone that I wanted to surprise my wife. He didn't ask questions.
You pecked a bait fest.
Didn't even bring much. I drove 4 hours straight without stopping. I couldn't think clearly. Just kept picturing her with someone else. Laughing. Touching. In our bed, her arms around someone who wasn't me. I got to the resort around 6. Snow had started falling by the time I pulled in. The place looked like a magazine cover. All lit up, cozy fireplaces, behind glass windows. I checked in, nodded at the guy behind the desk, and walked to room 315, right next door to hers. I stood there for a while with my ear against the door. I could hear voices. A man's voice. Then hers. Then laughing. I backed away. My legs felt numb.
I didn't go in. Not yet.
Instead, I went to my room and waited. I pulled out my laptop and started screen recording. If I was being made into a fool, I wanted everything documented. About half an hour later, I heard their door open. I looked through the peephole. It was her. And some guy.
Tall.
Athletic. Tan even in winter. Wearing one of those overpriced casual scarves. They kissed in the hallway. I almost kicked the door open right then, but I didn't. I waited until they left for dinner, then used the spare key I had made when I arrived. Just told the desk I lost mine, and they gave me a copy. They believed the whole surprise the wife story. People believe whatever sounds romantic. Their room was disgusting. Not physically, but emotionally. Like walking into a lie that had been carefully maintained. Her coat was on the chair. His shoes near the bed. 2 wine glasses still wet. Then I saw her phone. On the nightstand. I picked it up. No password. I wish she had locked it. I really do. The texts were all there. His name was Brandon. They'd been messaging for months. Maybe longer. He wasn't some one-night stand. He was a full-blown side relationship. She wrote things like, "He's good to me, but it's not enough anymore. I'm scared to leave him. He doesn't deserve this. This weekend will help me think." There were pictures of them together. Selfies.
Bed shots.
Him holding her waist. Her smiling at him the way I thought she only smiled at me. It made me sick. But I kept going. I forwarded everything to myself. Took photos of the room, of the messages, of the spa appointment card sitting on the dresser. I slid a note under her pillow before I left. It said, "Can this wait?"
No.
That was all. Then I walked out, got in my truck, and drove back home in the dark. She came back Sunday night like nothing happened. Smiled, said she missed me. Told me the girls were so funny. She had no idea. I asked how it was. She went on and on about brunch and snowshoeing and how the hot tub was so relaxing. I just nodded. Then I handed her an envelope. Inside was every screenshot, photo, and receipt I had collected. She opened it slowly. Her face went pale like a sheet. She looked up at me and said, barely above a whisper, "You followed me?" "No," I said. "I investigated what I was paying for."
She didn't deny anything.
She didn't even try. I told her I already filed. Lawyer had the documents. I'd been calm, smart, and fast. But that wasn't enough for me. I wanted more. She lied to me for months. Looked me in the eyes and played house while building a life behind my back. So I started planning what came next. And Brandon? He wasn't getting off easy either. After I handed her the envelope and said I'd filed, she didn't say much. She just sat there on the edge of the couch, looking like she got hit by a truck. She kept trying to talk, but I wasn't in the mood for fake tears or empty explanations. She slept in the guest room that night. I didn't care what she did. I locked our bedroom door from the inside. The next morning, I called her parents. They always liked me. Her dad once told me I was the best thing that ever happened to her. So, I figured they deserved to know what their daughter was really doing in Aspen. I told her mom the truth. No fluff, no emotion, just facts. Told her about the fake girls' weekend, the other guy, the hotel. I even emailed her the screenshots. Her mom cried on the phone. Her dad texted me an hour later and said, "We are ashamed of her." "I'm so sorry, son." That hit harder than I expected. But it wasn't about shame anymore. It was about making sure everyone saw who she really was. She moved out the following week. Took a few bags, nothing else. I told her not to take a single thing that I bought with our joint money. If she did, I'd file police reports. I wasn't bluffing. I thought that would be it. That once she was out, it would be over. But Brandon, he didn't like that. 2 days after she left, I came home to find my truck keyed down both sides. Deep scratches. Windshield cracked. All 4 tires slashed. I checked the security camera on my porch. Sure enough, around 2 a.m., some punk in a hoodie walked up, did the damage, then took off in a silver Jeep. I sent the footage to the cops. Then I looked closer at the video. The guy? He had a very distinct tattoo on the back of his neck. A cross with flames. I recognized it immediately. He had it in one of the pictures I'd seen on her phone. It was Brandon. He actually came to my house. He vandalized my truck. I didn't say a word to her. Didn't call. Didn't yell. I just went silent and filed a police report. But that wasn't all. I called a buddy of mine, Trey. He works in private security. He used to do skip tracing for a bail bond company. He knows how to find things people don't want found. I told him everything. He said, "Give me a day." By the next night, I had Brandon's full name, home address, job info, license plate number, and even some background info that made my jaw clench. Turns out Brandon had a record. Domestic dispute 4 years ago. Charges dropped when the ex-girlfriend didn't show in court. This guy wasn't just a homewrecker.
He was a walking red flag.
That's when I made the next move. I emailed Brandon directly. From a throwaway account. No threats. Just a warning. Next time you come near my home, I won't call the police. I'll be waiting. You've been recorded. Your tattoo is visible. Try me again, and it won't end well. No reply. But I know he read it. A week passed. Then her best friend Megan reached out to me. She was always cool with me, even when we weren't close. She texted, "I had no idea what she was doing.
I'm so sorry.
She's a mess right now." Says, "She wants to talk to you." I replied, "Too late. Tell her to talk to her lawyer." But Megan didn't stop there. She started sending me screenshots. Texts from my wife. Stuff she didn't think anyone else would see. Things like, I think I ruined everything. Brandon isn't who I thought he was. He's starting to scare me. Gets angry when I don't answer fast. I don't think I made the right choice, she was unraveling. Brandon wasn't her fantasy anymore. He was the real deal. The kind of guy who sweet-talks you until he gets what he wants, then turns cold the moment you don't play along. And now she wanted out. But she didn't come crawling back to me directly. Not yet. Instead, I heard from someone else. Her boss. I got a call one afternoon. Number I didn't recognize. Is this James? The voice asked. Yes, I said. This is Martin. I'm the manager at Bloom Boutique. I'm calling because I've been made aware of some personal issues between you and Angela. I didn't say anything. He continued. She didn't come into work for 3 days. Showed up this morning crying. Said she might need time off. Then she mentioned police reports. A guy named Brandon. Vandalism. Honestly, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I took a deep breath and said, you should ask her. But if she tries to drag my name through anything, I've got documentation. He said he understood, that he just wanted to protect his staff. But I could tell. Her world was starting to collapse around her. And it was just beginning. 2 days after that call from her boss, I got an email. It was from Angela. Not a long one. No dear or love or anything. Just plain and direct. I know you don't owe me anything. But I'm scared. Brandon's not who I thought. He's getting aggressive. I didn't tell him about the report. I think he found out. He's been parked outside my friend's apartment the last 2 nights. I'm staying there now. Please don't ignore this. I don't know who else to call. I stared at the screen for a while. Part of me wanted to delete it and move on. But another part, the part that spent 8 years loving her, that part still gave a damn. Not romantically. That was gone. But I didn't want her to end up on the news as a missing person either. So I didn't reply. But I forwarded the email to my buddy Trey. Trey said, give me 2 hours. He ran Brandon's plates against public surveillance data in the city. He's got some access I probably don't want to know too much about. What mattered was, he found video footage of Brandon's Jeep circling the block where Megan lived. 3 nights in a row. Then something new happened. Megan called me.
Her voice was shaking.
He broke into the building, she said. He didn't get to our door, but he was in the hallway. Security chased him off. Cops came, but he was already gone. That was it. I was done letting this slide. I called the detective handling my vandalism case. Told him everything, Angela's email, the break-in attempt, the footage. He asked me if she wanted to press charges.
She's too scared, I said.
Well, she needs to say it herself. Otherwise, there's not much we can do beyond what you already filed. So, I did something she wouldn't expect. I showed up at Megan's. Not for her. For Angela. She looked shocked when she opened the door. Eyes red, hair tied back, wearing a hoodie that clearly wasn't hers. She didn't look like the same woman who walked out of my life and into a hotel suite with another man. I didn't step inside. I just handed her a burner phone. I already put the detective's number in there, I told her. Use it. Give a statement. Or this keeps going. She looked at me like I had just thrown her a life vest in a flood. I didn't care about her gratitude. I just didn't want this guy spiraling out and dragging me down with her. She nodded. Said she would. I turned around and walked out without another word. That night, Trey called again. Found something you're going to want to see, he said. Turns out Brandon had been fired from his last job for boundary issues with a female coworker. No charges. Just internal stuff. They didn't want a lawsuit, so they gave him severance and pushed him out quietly. I also found out that he wasn't just seeing Angela. There were others. A girl in Denver who posted online about a toxic guy named Brandon with a Jeep and a flame tattoo. Same guy. Same pattern. Angela wasn't special to him. She was just the next one in line. A week later, she finally gave her statement. The detective filed a restraining order. Cops found Brandon parked down the street the very same night and arrested him for violating it.
He's out now. For now.
but he's under surveillance. Angela tried to reach out again after that.
Said she was sorry. Said she didn't know how she got there.
Said she missed our old life.
I didn't reply.
Instead, I called my lawyer. Told her I wanted to speed up the divorce. We set a court date. I was ready to walk in with everything: evidence, records, proof of vandalism, threats, infidelity. All of it. But then Angela did something that caught me off guard. She tried to fight it. Not the divorce. She agreed to that. But she tried to claim half of my business. Said since she helped with office work sometimes and was part of the family structure, she was entitled to part of my company. That was her move. After everything she did, she wanted to take the thing I built with my own hands and ruin it too. I wasn't surprised anymore. Just focused. My lawyer and I got to work. Because if she wanted a war, she was going to get one. She wanted half my business. That was the last line. I'd stayed calm when I found out about Brandon. I stayed calm when she lied, when she smiled at me after coming home from that weekend like nothing happened. I stayed calm even when my truck got slashed and she didn't lift a finger to help.
But this
was her trying to destroy something I built from scratch. My HVAC company wasn't a big-name chain. It wasn't flashy, but it was mine. I started it from my garage, driving beat-up vans to job sites all over El Paso County. And now she wanted to take a piece of it like she earned it?
Hell no.
My lawyer was a shark. Older lady named Rita, who'd been doing divorce law in Colorado for 30 years. First time I met her, she said, if she wants war, we'll burn her down legal and clean. So that's what we did. We pulled every record, business filings, invoices, payroll, insurance, tax returns. Angela's name was nowhere. She wasn't on any paperwork. Not on the license. Not on payroll. The only thing she ever did was drop off snacks or chat with a client once in a while. She had no stake. But she made her move. She got a lawyer who claimed verbal partnership and domestic contribution. Said Angela's emotional support helped me build the business. That being a wife entitles her to part of what the marriage created. Problem was her entire case rested on character. On painting herself as this loyal, supporting partner. That's where I had her. I gave Rita every screenshot. Every text. Every picture from Aspen. All the receipts. Her emails. Her confession. Megan's messages. Even Brandon's criminal report and his stalking charges. But I didn't stop there. Trey found something else. Angela and Brandon had been renting a short-term apartment in Denver 3 months before Aspen. She'd been using a prepaid card, one I never saw. But Brandon was dumb. He used his own ID to sign the lease. It showed premeditation. She didn't cheat in the moment. She built a second life. That was the final nail. The day of court came. It was cold and gray outside, perfect for what it felt like. Angela wore all black. Looked like she was going to a funeral. Maybe she was. Because Rita tore her apart. Laid out everything. Her lies, the side apartment, the abuse from Brandon, the vandalism, the police report. The judge's face got tighter and tighter with every piece of evidence. By the time her lawyer tried to claim she helped the business emotionally, the judge cut him off. Miss Carter, the judge said, your actions show a clear pattern of deceit, betrayal, and instability. This court does not reward dishonesty. She didn't get a cent of the business. Not even a house. I offered her a payout for her share, and she took it, probably thinking she could use it to get a fresh start. But karma had other plans. 2 weeks after court, Brandon got picked up again. This time for threatening another woman. Same pattern. The girl posted her story on Facebook, and it went viral. People started connecting dots. His name got out. So did hers. Angela Carter, cheater, liar, enabler. She got fired from the boutique. Her boss didn't say it outright, but let's be honest, reputation matters. Nobody wants scandal in a shop where rich housewives go to buy scarves. She tried getting a job at another boutique in Boulder. Didn't last long. Word gets around fast. Megan stopped talking to her. Said she was tired of Angela playing victim after creating the fire herself. Her own parents told me they were heartbroken. Said she'd lost touch with who she was. I didn't feel bad. Not even a little. And me? I started over, too. But I wasn't perfect. Truth is, I should have seen signs earlier. I gave too much trust. Ignored small lies. Dismissed odd behavior because I wanted to believe we were solid. So I learned. I focused on work. Grew the business. Took on 2 new techs. Hired a part-time admin who keeps the books tight. I made boundaries I never had before. About a year later, I met someone. Not flashy. Not a whirlwind. Just real. Someone who speaks straight and doesn't hide her phone. Someone who asks how my day went and actually listens. Angela texted me once last fall. Just said, "I'm sorry. I miss you." I didn't reply. I blocked the number. Because some people don't deserve second chances. Some people are warnings. And I heard mine loud and clear. So when people ask why I keep my guard up, why I don't talk about my ex, I just smile and say, she taught me everything I needed to know. And if Brandon ever rolls up again,
Well,
let's just say this time, I won't be calling the cops.